All right, hello and welcome back as we get ready for the first game of our last night of week 2 play. Hoping for a good series here. As let me get the info sent out. And yeah, hoping for a good one, but we'll see how it goes. Of course, you can see the season so far recap as it was Santa Carla who got a win, Steinhatchee falling just short, both going to game 5 in their series. Does mean they're all both pretty close to the center in terms of the standings. Moving over then to our schedule for the week, you can see 3 games down, and kind of like Pixel last week, unique. Every unique scoreline represented, although I think that was Prism because Pixel didn't have a sweep. So we got a sweep, we got a game 4, we got a game 5. We'll see where our last 2 games fall on that spectrum. I'd kind of be surprised if we see another game 5, but saying that, I think our second series could have one. But again, we'll see as we look at our standings. Lincoln and Chicago standing tall at 2-0. Then you got Havana and New York in the middle, and Arcadia and Miami at the bottom. And then, of course, Hanoi and Santa Carla trying to go up, and Havana and Steinhatchee and Calgary trying to avoid dropping down. Moving over to our stats, you can see that your key players are Yami and Andy after week 1. Of course, Yami also getting traded over to Steinhatchee from Calgary in replacement of Remy. And your stats, in terms of team averages, are in favor of Santa Carla 4-2, with a tie on demos. So, yeah. I think obviously one team won last week, one team lost last week. This is Yami's second week in a row playing against Santa Carla. Maybe that familiarity could help. But overall, I feel like we didn't see a lot out of Remy. And I feel like I am always underestimating Yami. But I don't know if that's an even trade. I would say baseline, and this isn't like, it isn't really a fair comparison. Like, I don't know really how to rate these 2 players, especially in comparison to each other. I have to say that we need to see, because of course there's also play style. Like, there's a lot of factors that could make Steinhatchee a stronger team out of this. But I think kind of what we've seen and the bias I have, because the thing is, what I've seen of Yami doesn't represent, because like I've scrimmed him before the season started and he was really good. And so I think he's a lot better than my memory of 2 seasons ago tells me. And then on the other side, Remy, haven't seen him much. Based on like his rank and the peak on his tracker and all of that, you think he's very good. Last week was maybe a bit of a so-so show. So I think just need to see more of both players, and I'm very interested to see how this trade shakes out. I think that's kind of the summary. That I can't look at it and say the Scallops got better, and so I have to feel like Santa Carla are the favorites here. But I could be wrong depending on how that trade actually looks. And it is also interesting, of course, that Yami ends up filling out the key player. I think just baseline expectation, I would expect out of these 3 it to be Kolbob, but I think it's also fair to say that it probably would have just been Remy out of the 3 that were on the team. And then, of course, Yami's coming over from a different team environment, and so he may have had a bigger role, or that team may have just had better stats, you know? So, real kind of hard to make that equivalent. And yeah, I think that's kind of the summary. Pretty much like we've said in a lot of these games so far, the results are what they are, but the problem is we only have 1 week of results, and so it's kind of hard to make much of them. And so, as is, I'm leaning Santa Carla. I think I should also mention, I was certainly a bit surprised by their last week. I think I expected Calgary to be a stronger team. And so I think it's kind of equivalent to New York beating Steinhatchee, where I had decently high expectations for Calgary, and I wasn't so sure on Santa Carla. And then Santa Carla just kind of looks stronger. And of course, it takes 5 games. It's a close series, but they just kind of win it. Similarly, in that New York Steinhatchee game, I had high expectations for Scallops, higher than Calgary, and I really wasn't so sure on New York. Probably less confident than Santa Carla. But in the end, they got the win, as New York just looked a little bit better. So far, both teams. I saw Andy just joined the Santa Carla VC, so I'm guessing they will be joining soon. And Steinhatchee was told one of their players is in a game, and I see from general chat that they might be in an overtime. And so I think as soon as that game ends, then Steinhatchee will join, and I'm guessing as soon as Santa Carla get on, they'll join. So, and there's Santa Carla. So now we're just waiting on Steinhatchee, I believe. And then, yeah, we'll get into this one. So, in summary, I don't know. Santa Carla, I doubted, and they got a close win. Steinhatchee, I felt pretty confident in, and they got a close loss. There was a trade that happened. I don't know how much I feel like it was an upgrade, but it really struggled to rate it. So, given who won and who lost, and the uncertainty of that trade, I'm going to lean with Santa Carla, and I'm going to say... See, I said this is the one I would be less confident in a Game 5 happening, but also the more I've thought about it, and the more I could absolutely see this being a close series. So, I don't know. I think it is certainly tough to give a score line, because I almost want to just say a Game 5 for several reasons. First of all, we'd all love to see another Game 5. Second of all, this season has loved to have Game 5s. I think we're below half because we've had less in the second half of this week, but in general, you've just had a lot of them through 2 weeks. Then, like I said, the more I've thought about it, the rougher it is for me to actually pick a favorite. So I think it's just probably best for me to go Game 5. Of course, also, you just never really want to predict 3-1. And a lot of the time when I've been correct, because it honestly just is very true that unless a team is truly dominant, they tend to just give something back. But, we'll see. As I think we are just still waiting on, as you see in the Twitch chat, and apparently a 5-minute OT that is just still going on. So, okay. Now we have everyone in. I think I'll leave most of that in for the YouTube because I was talking for most of it. I might cut out like the last little bit there. But yeah, so Kolbob was in a ranked game, and they went to a 9-minute OT, which is to the level that technically Santa Carla had the choice that they could have called that a forfeit win and not had to play the series because Kolbob was too late. But they chose to play out the entire 9-minute OT, and they get a series. As early on here, Steinhatchee already are just going to get a goal. 8-Bit Man clears it forward and then just gets hit back to him, takes the shot, it goes in, and it's 1-0 Scallops. Now Banks trying to play it around. This one dropped down, gets by one. Kolbob gets it to the side. Hey, Kolbob should be plenty warmed up at least. Yeah, and he did ice the rest of the lobby, so I think he's probably feeling pretty good. This one bounces away. 8-Bit Man over to the side. Kolbob down into the corner, getting another touch, gets by Banks. Huntu trying to get it out, but it's popped up by Kolbob. It's definitely been Scallop's control so far. We have seen a push downfield by Santa Carla, but it was short-lived, and they weren't really able to get any threatening shots out of it, as this one gets very awkward on the goal line. Kolbob tries to keep it close. Now Huntu takes it around the side. Now Yami in the air with it going for a carry, but Banks plays it away. 1 minute gone, still a lot of pressure for the Scallops, and of course still that 1-goal lead in their favor here. As Kolbob jumps up for this one, knocks it down, it's off the post, and it is in. It is 2-0 for the Scallops, as they have scored 2 straight goals to open this one up. And I mean, just kind of easy enough. As we said, they have had pretty clear control, and it's just 3 off the kickoff. Yami lets it go. A Bitman also there, but instead it's just Kolbob who jumps in, takes a shot, and it goes straight through. Like, minute 20 in. This is pretty decisive. And of course, still a long series is okay. There you go. That is needed. Santa Carla will get one back as it's a long shot by Huntu. From his own corner, he just puts it on target and everyone is upfield. So there is that first goal on the board. We'll see if it kind of gives some momentum back to the Freakz, because as of now, it has been all Scallops. 8-Bitman in the air, lets it go. Kolbob moving in, gets another dunk, but it's just wide of the net for the moment. Banks now loses control. 8-Bitman off the back wall, Huntu around the corner. Yami now on it, centers it out. Andy around the outside again. Now 50 away. Now Yami behind it, goes for the musty, gets it in, the goal. We mentioned he's pretty good. He shows it off there. Yami, 1 touch out, musty by the defender, and the touch to finish it off. Didn't even bounce. And so it is 4-1. The momentum is turned right back around. Oh, 8-Bitman behind this one, trying to 50 it up. Gets 1 touch out. Won't be able to do the same thing Yami did. Doesn't have enough boost. Otherwise, we'll trust that he could. Now this one played back away. Banks up off the right wall. No one there except 8-Bitman. He'll catch it down to Kolbob. Kolbob now downfield. Looking for the touch. Won't get it because Andy's there first. Yami now collecting, but it gets away from him. Huntu looking for a pass across, but it's too far forward. Brought down by 8-Bitman, and the dunk to follow. And the Scallops get the clear out again. Banks now on this one. Another one just high towards the back wall. Santa Carla looking for anything, but the 50 is lost. The demo is there, and it's another free clear for Kolbob. He'll now wait, he'll shoot, and he will score. It's a hat trick for Kolbob in game 1, and it is 5-1 for Steinhatchee. East Coast showing up so far. As this one bouncing down. Really feels like a bit of a go next angle for our blue side here. As this one's brought downfield, the dunk just wide off the post. Yami won't take a quick shot. Now Andy gonna be on it. Off the side wall again. Huntu trying to play it forward. Kolbob able to get it the other way. Banks trying to get up, but he has to use a lot of boost, but he does get that touchdown. Fortunately, it's only Kolbob there who will get it to the side. And so the play does kind of stall for a bit, although this should be a shot, but 8-Bitman able to get himself in the way. And as the final 90 seconds begin to wind down, it is still pretty dominant control here for Steinhatchee. We've definitely spent a lot more time in the orange side of the field, but even still, Steinhatchee are up by 4 and haven't given much up. And this one's played across. There you go, but no. Should have been. It was so close to being, but it's off the post, and finally Andy can add on. took long enough as Huntu put it wide on the shot, but Andy gets it back. Banks giving a pull shot as he gets that bump there. And that is another goal back to Santa Carla. So again, a bit more pressure here. A bit more momentum maybe as we look to the next game, but oh, well, that won't help. That will not help. Yami gets the goal right back again. And it is just 6-2. The 4-goal lead is holding. And I mean, we got to see the next game because so far I'm certainly not feeling very confident in the prediction. As I would say, so far it has certainly felt like, as I said, I was struggling to rate the teams. Steinhatchee looked pretty good, I think safe to say, through 4.5 minutes, and I assume all of game 1. Now again, as I said, we will have to see the rest of the series because quite often, and not always, but quite often, especially when a series should be close, a game like this does not represent the rest. As there's another long shot by Yami, and it is 7-2. 1 away from taking us on a trip to Spain, but we'll see if we get there. As quite often, there's a game where one team is clicking and just is hitting everything. And then through the rest of the series, it is much more even. That may be a couple more chances are going the other way, couple shots are a little off target, whatever. Maybe some adjustments are made, but we'll see. Because there are some games, like Loudon KCF this week, where it definitely can look pretty much like this for a series, but not the most common, as this one cleared away, hits the ground, and game 1 does, in the end, go over to Steinhatchee, as they will outshoot 11-5 and outscore 7-2. Just kind of dominance here in game 1 from the Scallops. So, as we said, doesn't always hold. We will see if they can keep it up as we look on to our next game. Hoping for maybe a closer one. But, I mean, for a Scallops team that, as I mentioned in the Discord, and as I did kind of mention in the pre-show part, that they have pretty high expectations going into the season. I think kind of the top 2 in like preseason rankings were Hanoi Lincoln, and then I think Steinhatchee kind of got thrown in the ring as maybe part of that, or like one of the favorites. And of course, week 1, kind of just a disappointing show from them. And then, as I said, trade comes through, but you need to see it. Does it actually help? Well, so far the answer looks like yes. So we're gonna have to see as we now load in game number 2. Steinhatchee are 1 to the better, but can they do it again, or will we see something a little bit stronger out of our team in blue? Early start here, Yami looking for a center, but no one there except Andy. Will catch it the other way. Andy now flick over, Huntu's there. That's a stronger start. And it's 1-0 for Santa Carla. Andy the setup, Huntu just a pop, just under the bar. No one ready for that one. And so it is an early lead, and that should be the first lead for Santa Carla in this series. As Andy now off the post again, it's popped up in the air. Is anyone there? No, they are not, as Banks is waiting downfield. Now Banks up on this one, pops it towards the net, but Kolbob's able to tap it away. Now up in the air from Huntu, centered out. Andy's there. It rings off the bar, but will not go under. And it'll stay a 1-goal difference, but it is absolute control opening up on DFH here. As through 45 seconds, as that's another one off the post. Through 2 games, it has been an unfortunate amount of pings that we have heard, as this one, the same. Just wide, then off the bar, then off the post. It still stays out. And 1 minute in, it is somehow 1-0 instead of close to 4. As this one's dropped in by Yami, but easy enough for Andy. Problem for them is that Kolbob's on it, and he'll pop it up and make it awkward. That forced them to use some more boost as 8-Bitman keeps it forward. Huntu's touch doesn't go where he wants. Yami will be able to play it, and Banks will take it away. Andy now another shot down, but Kolbob's back for it. Popped around the outside. Banks up in the air. 8-Bitman trying to knock it down. It's just Huntu. Won't get anything there. Now Andy forward. Banks trying to drop it down. It's a pass back, but the shot is wide. Almost into the corner, and so yet another chance that will not turn into anything on the scoreboard. Now Yami up in the air, doesn't have a flip, and so Banks will get the save. Andy looking to catch up to this, will get a dribble and will get a cut. Looking for another pass, this time it's Banks, but also this time it's cut out by Kolbob. Kolbob now in the air, towards the back wall, pinched across, Andy will flick it away. Yami now dropping it down. It's Banks trying to pick it up, looking for one more down, and now Andy, there's a long clear off the bar, but the second one goes wide again. Now 8-Bitman on this one, over off the right, it'll bounce right back across, and now Yami sends it long downfield. Banks down off the left wall, 8-Bitman on it, cleared away. Banks now just gonna send it forward, Andy waiting under it. It'll get played out to the side. Huntu dropping it forward. Yami just waiting behind it. Now Banks up in the air. Kolbob downfield. Towards the back wall. Huntu a little light on the clear. Kept in by 8-Bitman. And as now there's a team bump. Huntu panicking, and Andy has to bail him out of that one. That one got awkward real quickly, but fortunately for Santa Carla, Andy able to get back for a save. As now this one's 50'd on the orange goal line, but cleared away without too much issue. Banks now trying to pinch this one away. Kolbob turns it around. Bouncing into the corner. It'll be Kolbob on it first, but he mistimes the pinch and won't get much on it. Neither will Banks, and now that 50's even. Huntu's still under it. Andy will take it away. Andy from the right wall looking there, dribble it out. Huntu waiting under. 50 down into the orange corner here, but only Yami to get it out. And so we've kind of settled into a bit of a stalemate as that first goal came through. Then we had a lot of plays off the Steinhatchee posts, but since then it has really settled down, and somehow out of neutral play it's going to be Steinhatchee finding a goal. 8-Bitman just a bouncing ball. Kolbob threatens Banks and it just gets in. And so we are all tied up at 1. That one just kind of surprising. Again, it was at midfield. No crazy pressure either way, but the threat of a bump, enough to make Banks jump awkwardly, and he can't get back down to the ball. Now another shot down. Banks will play it over to the left side. The pressure now brought up significantly as Santa Carla kind of need to win this game. This one around the outside, banged back out. Banks will catch to the side. Kolbob waiting, but Andy gets it downfield. Huntu off the corner, dropping down. Banks looking for a 50. It'll bounce back down. Andy is there. He'll take it out to the side for the moment, but the bounce is too awkward, and it's free for Kolbob. Banks now, though, will bang it back in. He'll look for a follow, looks for a bump, and gets it. Huntu's shot, though, is low. And the save gets a little bit close, but it does get out off the post. This 150 down center again. Yami trying to pop it away. Kolbob will have a follow-up. Banks now sending it back in. Huntu is there. That one is in. It's just under the bar. And Santa Carla again will take their lead. 12 seconds left to go. Finally, another one finds the target. And the Freakz make up for the goal they concede, and they get another one in their favor. But of course, there's still time on the clock. Huntu trying to get it out to the side. Yami is there, too far across, but 8-Bitman's there. Unfortunately, can't make contact. Kolbob now up with it, but it's dunked away by Huntu. Clock strike 0, and Santa Carla will tie the series. Certainly much closer than the last game, but they pull out the win. Still with a -4 game differential, or goal differential rather, but they outshoot 10-5, so another 5-shot split, just like it was the reverse in the last game. But this time a much closer game, and yeah, 2 for 10 isn't exactly a great shooting conversion. So Santa Carla still probably want to work on that one, but hey, they got the win. So if they gave up much more pressure, and by the way, it was 3 saves, so that is 5 unaccounted for shots in that game from Santa Carla. And that's a pretty bad split. That ain't great, you know? As we now load in game number 2. I just realized the game's a little bit quieter than it normally is, but I think it's fine. It's not that different, as this one's down off the ceiling. I also do want to mention, because I didn't during the standings portion, that Santa Carla obviously are trying to get up to 2-0, as they would with a win in this series. But because they are not sweeping the series, they cannot go higher than 3rd on the standings following this week. Now, of course, 1st through 3rd or 4th will be a tie at 2-0, assuming they win, I mean. So being tied for the same record but a lower placement doesn't mean that much early on in the season, especially with no head-to-heads between them. But, you know, you want to look higher on the scoreboard. Had to sweep this one because, unfortunately for them, they would have played 2 0-2 teams, and so they would lose strength of victory to Chicago. But either way, of course, the win is what is most important, as we've been pretty end-to-end here in the first minute. Definitely our first even minute of play. Our most even first minute of play. As we'll see who can break the ice. We've had a dominant game for Steinhatchee. We've had a closer game for Santa Carla. And now, as we move on to game 3, it already looks like it won't be a dominant game for Steinhatchee, but of course there's still time for them to put up plenty. And, I mean, they might only need a couple, because Santa Carla have scored 2 goals per game. Steinhatchee only scored 1 in the last game, but they scored 7 in the first. So, I think if we see the Scallops put up 3-4 goals, it's looking kind of rough for Santa Carla in that game. But if the Freakz can hold them to less than that, then they're in a decent spot, assuming their offense continues to be somewhat consistent in what it has been. Now again, you can definitely point out issue with the fact that they had many less shots. I believe it was like they had 6 or so in the first game. And they scored 2, and then they had 10 in the second game and still scored 2. So you can question why, with such different levels of pressure, they still were getting the same count of goals, but I mean, it shows that they at least find a couple chances in a given game. That one will just fly harmlessly into the corner for now. This one popped back, but Andy's able to get it back towards midfield. Kolbob up under it. Andy now pinching it downfield around the corner. Another one centered out, cleared away by Yami. Follow-up was there by Banks, but Yami's there for another touch away. Huntu now the center. Kolbob on the pre-jump will get a 50. A Bitman on it next, pops it down into the corner, looking for one around, but won't be able to get it as Yami dives in, fakes them all out. That one beats one, but it also beats Kolbob, who just has to play it to the corner because he wasn't ready for a shot. Andy now trying to get it away right at Yami, and Huntu gets another save away. A Bitman maybe forces that one in, as it's sent downfield, but it's right at Yami, and he'll be forced to take, well, he'll be given a shot that's forces a save from Huntu. Now back away again. Banks up in the air. One more down. Andy on the redirect, but Yami able to react. Huntu dropping it in. 80 seconds left to go. Still no goals on the board. And so we have consistently gotten closer in each game here. And this one so far certainly the closest, as neither team has been able to break through. But as the final minute ticks down here, of course, at least one guaranteed, because we got to have a winner. And so who can get that first one across? Yami with the demo will open up some space. Kolbob trying to jump forward, but he ends up going a little bit wide, and then will just be forced to take a 50. Huntu now downfield, playing another 50 out, but Yami's just going to get there and clear it away again. Now Banks loses out on the challenge, popped away again. 8-Bit-Man forces it over to the right wall, off the backboard, but Huntu gets it away. Yami will try to dive in. That one's out to the corner. Banks already on it, lets it go for a bounce, and now tries to pop it up. He'll get bumped off, and it's an easy save for 8-Bit-Man. Now Andy, another one over. Popped forward by his teammate, but then he's beat out by Yami. Definitely has felt like Yami's been everywhere, but he's not here. And Banks can't force it in. It's 50 to the side. The defense does enough for Steinhatchee. Now at 0 seconds, this one 50 wide. It should fall. And we have OT in game number 3. Looked like chances on both sides at the end, but they can't get it done in regulation. And now it is golden goal for what will be a match point in this series. That one bounces by 1, now up in the air to the backboard. Kolbob lets it go, but it's almost in by 8-Bit-Man, but Huntu was there. Couldn't really see him on the goal line, but he's on the goal line this time again. As Kolbob tries to slow play, it goes under 1, but Andy will be there to pick it up. Yami, though, wins another 50 in. It has been so much pressure in a short period of time here, but nothing is finding the net. Yami again wide and popped to the side. 50 to over yet again, but once again one away. Just nothing is enough. Banks now dropping it down. This one off the bar. It'll bounce away. Andy pops it up. Banks to drop it down. Missed by 1, but 8-Bit-Man cleans it up. Now 8-Bit-Man down the sideline. Andy pops it up in the air. Kolbob could have gone, but chooses the shadow instead. Banks now trying to pop it up. Kolbob still on that. Uses all of his boost to just kind of fake out a 50. But it does set up Yami. Reset. Probably flipped the wrong way there, and so won't be able to get much more of a shot. Kolbob, though, going to get a chance off that bump from 8-Bit-Man as it's sent long by Huntu, but it's wide of the net. Yami now up on it again. Playing it down off the sidewall. Bounced forward by Banks, but blocked to the side by 8-Bit-Man. Andy now off the back wall. 50 downfield. This is starting to feel like Kolbob's OT that made him late for the series. But we'll see if we go 9 minutes. As this one's up off the corner. Huntu not going to find a touch on it. 8-Bit-Man now gives it up, but Andy's dunked away as well. Banks trying to play it forward, but it's straight at Kolbob, who again knocks it right back in. Huntu to the sidewall. 8-Bit-Man's there first. 2 dove. Banks is alone. No boost to his name, but there's no shot on target. And Huntu will be able to get back for it. Yami now trying to pop it up, but Andy can get it back to midfield, and that'll beat one more as well. Kolbob going straight up. Can't get a good touch. Might have bumped Andy a little bit, though, and he can only keep it in the corner. Huntu now. Strong touch across. Popped up awkward for Kolbob. So is that one, but he'll get a 3rd touch, and that one's a little cleaner. Banks now loses out on the 50 again. Huntu trying to play it forward. It's Kolbob over to the side. Now another one popped across. Huntu trying to turn, but doesn't have the boost, and Yami can win it downfield. Andy going up. Gets by the bump, but cannot get by the first defender. Now Huntu's left alone for a moment as well. 8-Bit-Man tries to go up, has to drop it down, but that last touch gets it away from Yami. Now Kolbob might be up too far. He gets it up off the back wall, but Andy is there, but the touch is right back at him. The clear isn't very far, but Yami is there to help out. An awkward moment for the Freakz, or no, rather for the Scallops, but they get through it. And now this one's forward by Huntu, trying to force a save out of Yami, and he has it. Now Andy trying to center it, but again, it's Kolbob who keeps it out to the side. Popped around the corner. 8-Bit-Man trying to get it away. Will not get that last touch, and now Banks almost able to get a center. 50 out towards the ceiling, and he is there. Finally, the tie is broken, and this time it's not Kolbob on top. It is a almost 4-minute OT, but it is Santa Carla who claim match point. I am very interested to see the shots, because my instinct would be they're pretty similar. And it is 10 to 11. So, yeah. Again, not great shooting for either side, as it's 0 for 11 for the Scallops and 1 for 10 for Santa Carla. But hey, at least it's more even this time. You know, it's not one team dominating it and then still no one scoring. At least both teams had a similar result. But as we look forward towards game 4, as we said, now, I didn't fully believe in the turnaround, as the lobby may have died. This is a possibility. It also may have specifically kicked me. I say that because I'm on a black loading screen. And so I would guess it's not going to load me. Now, I will, of course, first try to load in myself to see if it just kicked me. But if not, then I will have to remake, which shouldn't take too long. Okay, I'm still just going to make sure. So I'm going to type it here. Okay, unable to find server. So we remake, and it is back up, and so I will let them know. And we should get everyone in pretty shortly, and there we go. And so now we are ready to jump back in for game number 4. Santa Carla 1 away from getting the win, but can they close it out, or will we be headed all the way? As I was going to say before the lobby died, it is definitely matching what we said after game 1, that I didn't quite expect it to happen, as hold on, Colbob. This time we're not going to have to wait, although this is pretty normal. I feel like when you have a 4-minute OT, you're going to have an instant goal. And this time it's just Banks not able to get that touch. And so it ends up kind of open for Colbob. And that's goal number 1 to Steinhatchee. But as I was saying in game number 1, it does tend to happen that when you have a game that dominant, it's pretty isolated. That we've seen kind of the same, that Steinhatchee haven't had that pressure in every game, or they haven't hit their shots in every game. As okay, this time we might be in for a bit more of a shootout, because Andy gets that dunk and the bump. Banks hits the shot top left. Colbob not able to reach. And we are tied up at 1, 24 seconds in. Just 16 after the first goal. So are we going to see another goal in 32 seconds? If we see a goal at 4:02, then, or it'd be like 4:04, then something just a little amiss here. But we'll see as this one gets cleared away. Andy, another good touch up in the air. Yami the reset. Now Andy is on it, trying to slow it down. Gets into the back wall. There's a shot. We have no such issue. And it is 2-1. Santa Carla take the lead. They have scored 2 straight goals. And it's Huntu again, who, especially through the first 2 games, which, you know, were the majority of their goals, he was very involved. So good to see him continuing with that. From the Santa Carla side. Now this one cleared away by Andy. By the way, what I was saying, because the first goal was 8 seconds in. I think, although, yeah, I think it was about 8 seconds in. Then the second one was 16 seconds after that. So if we had a goal 32 seconds after that, then, you know, we got a weird trend going on. But not to be, as instead, it's just high scoring. Simply, as that is a great save by Yami, able to keep it away off the post. 3 players in the air, but it will be sent to the side, I believe, by Andy, trying to get it over to Huntu, but Huntu doesn't have boost, and so he has to give it away again. Now this one is in. 8-bit man, given the chance, just takes a full field shot. You hear the demo there on the last back, as it was a double in the end, getting one after the shot had gone in. And so it is 2-2. In only a minute and a half, we have 4 goals. Contrast that to the last 2 games plus a 3-minute OT, as that is gross. That is a very good redirect. Banks plays it forward. Andy drops it down at a tough angle with Colbob jumping at him. That's good placement. as it ends up straight through the net. And so, once again, Santa Carla are going to hold their lead, but for how long? This one around the corner. Thanks, trying to play it downfield. Just going to take another shot. Andy fakes it out. Would have taken the shot credit, I'm pretty sure, but doesn't go in. And so his shooting percentage will not go up. Because I'm pretty confident it looked like he's kind of bounced off it. So it would have been a ghost touch goal for him. And it didn't give him a shot. So that would have been a 1 goal on 0 shots. Love to see those for your percentage. This one now 50'd off the left wall. Yeah, he definitely did. Now up in the air again. I'm guessing it gave Banks a shot because it got kind of within the vicinity. Then that ghost touch happened. And so it didn't give him another shot. But it would have given him the goal. As this one's around the outside, Yami trying to get it forward. Andy just going to slow it down. He'll get over to the side wall, but he used a lot of boost and is still deep in his own final third. 50 now, won by 8-Bitman. He'll look towards the net. Banks will get to the side, but it did make 2 jump. Colbob now trying to get it away. Huntu dead down the center. Yami will try to pop it up. Looks for a bump, won't find anything, and Andy now able to take control. Beats a second as well, dropping down. 8-Bitman pops it up, but doesn't have the means to follow it. Huntu now just behind this one. Yami will try to get it up from the side wall. Banks now plays it across. Andy trying to follow this one up. Huntu now off the right wall, not able to reach that one. Banks looking for the catch. Gets it out to the side. That one sent forward, but it won't quite go in as Banks now flies over it. Andy the cut, but it's popped away by Colbob. I believe that was 80 seconds left to go. There's still been a lot of Santa Carla pressure thus far, even if this game has been more even, as Yami bounced off Andy there, I think. Maybe it's because he backflipped. That was weird. And this one is somehow not in. Colbob gets it pretty much center. 8-Bitman tries to dive in, but I guess Andy's touch just barely kept it away from him. It felt like either him or Colbob was going to score it, but just not quite able to read it correctly. As Andy, see, I agree with that. That's the thing about the boost indicator. I feel like without it, he would have just moved on. But you can see that it feels like it's close to spawning, and so you want to sit there. Even if it's like 5 seconds left to go, you're like, okay, but I see a bunch of white, so it must be close. But in general, I think the update's pretty useful. It gives you that tendency that sometimes makes you waste more time that you wouldn't, because you're like, okay, but like this is gonna spawn, right? Andy now trying to get it forward. Colbob looking for the catch. Gets just through everyone. All right. I guess no harm, no foul for earlier, because Colbob under one through a second, and Andy's nowhere to be seen. He's just downfield on the other side. And so with 9 seconds left to go, Steinhatchee just get the goal back, and it's a tie game with another OT looming, unless this one's in, but it's just wide for the moment, and Banks will now flick it downfield. 8-Bitman, that one will fall short. And it is 3-3 with another OT. 1 goal for Santa Carla wins it. 1 for Steinhatchee sends us to game 5. Andy trying to bring this one down around the outside. Dunked, it's just wide. No one able to immediately crash for Steinhatchee, and Banks will get it downfield. Now Colbob takes it away, but it's already Andy on it. First touch will be wide. Yami, that one a little bit scary, but Huntu only able to 50 it into the corner. Andy now trying to get it around. Colbob sends it away. Banks will catch, trying to pop it out, running low on boost. One downfield by Yami. Andy gonna have to jump up early. He'll knock it down. Colbob no boost, but given a chance off the miss. Huntu though sends it down. Andy redirect, but easy enough for Yami. As we approach the 1 minute mark, we'll see how long this one goes. It was 3:46 in the last one. 8-Bitman trying to get it around. It's up towards the ceiling. Now Banks will play it away again. Colbob trying to take control. Gets a reset, looking for a follow, but now it's played down and slowed down by Andy, as now he'll get by one. It looks open, but somehow he doesn't score it. All right. Or even for the one earlier. I think if he goes to the right of it, he can try to push it into the left. But instead he turns left, so then he has to play it to the back wall. And then, of course, that's a really tough double that he's not able to get the read on. So, okay. And we play on. Call bomb now from his own corner. Demo there by Banks, and he'll get it forward again. Now up in the air, Andy going the wrong way. Banks has to jump up awkward, gets it off the back wall, will not get the Psycho. Yami now forced to leave it. Wasn't sure if Andy was going to hit it, but will beat Huntu on the next touch anyway. Banks trying to get it downfield. It gets by Kolob. Only 8-bit man, but he's there for the play. Huntu now. That one drops down almost just in, but 8-bit man puts it up high. Yami now not able to play it forward, but does keep it where it is. This one will recenter out, and Huntu will force it downfield. 8-bit man now knocks it down. Huntu trying to play it across. Shot downfield by Yami as Andy will get it down off the corner. Demo is there. Kolbob. It's off the bar. And it's all the way out to the side, and so we will not have a quick follow. Banks now dropping it down. It's over Andy. Huntu has to go, and he'll send it long downfield. In fact, all the way. And it will end here. 4-3 in the game, 3-1 in the series. Santa Carla will get out. They will get outscored on the series by 2, but they will get the win in the end. As we will ask about an interview. We are also, I'll probably make it quick because we do have another game in about 10 minutes. I almost sent it to the wrong team. We'll ask about an interview. And we'll see. Yeah, I mean, good series. I definitely wasn't quite expecting at least this absolute of a turnaround after the first game. But, hey, I said it was a possibility that we would have one, and we did. And Huntu said he can't interview. I'm waiting to see. Yeah, it doesn't look like. Okay, so we aren't going to have an interview, and that is kind of fine with me just because we have another game in 10 minutes. And so, yeah, good series. Well fought by both sides, but in the end, it will be Santa Carla who get the win as your final score here one last time. Santa Carla 3, Steinhatchee 1. I'm going to go offline, and then I'll be back very shortly for the next game. You won't want to miss it, so we hope to see you back then.